All right, hey guys, what's going on? My name is Chris Huckes. This is your best life could find. I have to tell you something. The title of this podcast is No Perfect Decisions, and this is take number 8. Okay, that's ironic. It's just crazy, right? I guess it goes to show you there are no perfect decisions. Even when you think you're doing your best and you're doing everything you can, it's never going to be perfect. See, I bring this to your attention because perfection is why we just seem to can't move beyond the planning stage. I was that way for years. I've been doing a lot of different stuff, and I look back now and I think to myself, how crazy is it that I'm actually able to sit down here every day, and in spite of the problems like today, I'm having a little trouble getting my rhythm with this story. I just continue to do it, even though I realize as I sit here that even no matter how much I practiced it, it just doesn't seem to be coming out perfect. Guess what? I'm just going to have to accept it. And unfortunately, like I would want to give you the best quality I could, you're probably going to have to accept it too. If it doesn't work for you, maybe you'll come back tomorrow. There'll be another podcast. Maybe my attitude will be different. My approach will be different, and it will be more bearable. I bring this to your attention because I was paralyzed by perfection. I was paralyzed by the idea of not being good enough, or the things I've done or the things I'm trying to do. They're not actually good enough to tell anybody about. It's like that guy who's the painter but never displays his work. I jumped into this podcast so quick because I decided, hell, if I wait and I think about it, it'll never be right. And I remember walking back and forth, pacing back and forth in the fifth wheel when I first got started, because what I was saying didn't sound good. What I was saying probably wasn't good enough for my audience. But the truth is, had I waited until it was perfect, it would never be perfect. Now, why am I telling you this? The fear of failure, the idea that maybe what you're getting ready to do will not work out well for the first, second, third, 50th, 278th time, does not give you the excuse to ignore the fact that you have an obligation to yourself to do it. Your clock is ticking. The clock is ticking just like my clock is ticking. Your clock is ticking. What are you putting off because you're not good at it enough? Or maybe because you're afraid to even try? Life's short. When I look around, I think to myself, man, I've got to do more. I've got to do a better job. I've got to do more of this thing called living. What am I missing out on? What can I learn? What can I experience? What can I teach? Because that's what this is. I'm out there today and I'm doing my walk and talk. And for those of you just tuning in, my walk and talk is where I prepare for my podcast. It's where I go out there. I've got my phone, my camera. I'm sitting here working on the content of this discussion. I don't want to just come in here and start winging it. There's some practice that goes into this. And I'm out there walking and talking. I'm thinking about how good it's feeling. And I sit down here and I realize that even with all the preparation that I put in for each one of these podcasts, it's not going to be perfect. Now, for me, this could have been a stumbling block. It can be. I'm sitting here right now thinking, damn, I can do better. I can do better. Well, I'm doing the best I can until I get better at it. But I guarantee you it will never be perfect. Now, why am I telling you this? There are two reasons that we don't take action in our life. But the biggest one is fear. The biggest one is fear. Fear is the biggest reason that you have not decided to go ahead and step outside your box and change something, make something in your life better. And the other reason is complacency. Accepting being caught in the cycle of your life where you wake up at the same time, you go to bed at the same time, and you do that long list of things day in and day out. And you just accept that. I equate it to in your mud puddle. That's where you're sitting in your mud puddle, and it's the extent to your to where your life is extended to the boundaries of your life, right? And you have the house boundary, and you have your relationship is going where it's going, and you have the things you have, and you're just sitting in the middle of this pond, and maybe your attention drifts. It drifts from here to there. Maybe there's some drama. Maybe your relationship isn't going well. But for the most part, you're in neutral. That's a safe place to be, neutral. No, not have anybody requiring anything more of you, not requiring you to make any choices. And then there's the other side, which is the fear. And some of us will never admit, I'm not afraid. I just don't want to do it. I'm not afraid. I just don't want to do it, right? I'm not afraid. I just don't want to go to school, even though I'm only making $15 an hour. I'm barely making ends meet. I'm scared, nervous. My reading skills aren't that good, or maybe they are. I'm comfortable. We're doing all right, right? And then when you decide, you look at that thing and you see all the ways that you can fail. It's easy to find imperfection in what you're doing and say, oh, no, I'm not good enough yet, right? I'm not good enough to do this podcast right now. But then I figure, when will I be good enough? When will I be able to say, hey, good morning, guys, and have you actually realize the reason I'm here is to try and help you connect with a better life for yourself, right? Is it perfect? Is my story perfect? No. But it's about going. It's about going. Now, let me get into the steps of this, because I'm not going to leave you just hanging with this story about imperfection and how it sucks. The path to success in anything is broken down into 3 steps. Pick it, take action on it, and revise it. What? Yeah, pick it, take action, and then revise. Simple. You do that thing, you look at what you did, you ask yourself, how do I make it better? How do I get closer to my goal? You make adjustments, and then you keep doing it. I'm doing that right now with this, right? I showed up here today and I'm thinking, oh, this sucks. And of course, this is like the take 7, as I've said. So it's not going real well for me. So what do? I do one more take. I adjust the mic. I change my attitude. I get my head right about why I'm here. I remind myself that it's none of my damn business what you think of what I'm doing. Now, this is not to imply that this isn't, I don't want quality in this podcast. I do. I'm trying to give you some value here. But I can't waste my time making sure it's perfect before I go ahead and put something out. I got to get this podcast done, because I have another one to do tomorrow, and another one to do the day after that, and another one to do the day after that. I can't wait until it's perfect, and neither can you. So let's talk about you for a second. Now, you're grinding through your life, and maybe your life is amazing. I'm not going to make any judgments on that, but let's just pretend for a second that you're actually interested in doing something else. There's something in your life you would like to do that you're not currently doing. Your failure to be perfect at it is probably part of the reason you're afraid to do it. Let's face it, it sucks to do shit that you suck at. We want to be great at everything. And of course, you mix in all that emotional damage, the stuff that the shame that you have experienced through your life. And it's easy for you to pull back. Let's face it, doing what you're doing now is a hell of a lot safer, right? A hell of a lot safer. It's safe because you know what to expect. You know that in the job you're in, you know the routine, you know the people, you know the buttons, you know how to get through the day, right? What happens if you pick something you've never done before? Oh, crap. You're going to suck at it. And even when you do all the research in the world, and you go through all the steps and you dot the I's and cross the T's, you're still going to suck at it. Because no decision is perfect. So why am I talking to you about this imperfection? Imperfection is the reason that I haven't done more with my life. It's because I get so caught up on that idea of being perfect that it just freezes me in my tracks. Like I said, this is like my 8th take on this podcast, a really simple conversation. So let's bring it back to you. What will you do today that is going to be imperfect and screwed up? In fact, here's a suggestion for you. Why don't you start today by picking something you know you're going to suck at, and then you do it because you're going to suck at it. And the more you suck at it, or you believe you'll suck at it, the more important it is you do it, right? There's a little lesson. You know why? Because if you do that, suck at enough things long enough, you start not giving a damn whether you suck at it, because eventually it gets better, right? This podcast will not always be the same sucky podcast it is today. It'll be a better sucky podcast, but it's never going to be perfect. Don't let your need for perfection get in the way of your dreams. Don't let your need for perfection scare you away from your truest potential. Because the clock is ticking. And I guess that's the urgency. There's a sense of urgency as I sit here. That's why I tend to get on these rants and talk so fast. It's because we're running out of time. We're running out of time, and between the distractions and our fears, there are so many things we can do. The world is full of opportunities for us to say, damn, that shit was cool. Check out my YouTube, check out my Facebook page. We did that snowshoeing. We hadn't done snowshoeing in a while. We went up to Pagosa Springs, Colorado, and we did some snowshoeing all day. It was great. I think we did about 4.5 hours, 5 hours. The snow was beautiful. The weather was just right. There's parts of me when I got up there after running off the road into the snow and having to be pulled out that I'm thinking to myself, oh, this is sucking. I can't do this. And had I listened to those fears, I would have turned around. Because Sandy and I talked about it. It was kind of a rough start to a morning. We're headed up there. Everything's fine. But the snow's really white, and there's not a lot of identifying markers between the edge of the road and the ditch, right? And I come around a corner, and the next thing you know, boom, I'm in the ditch. I mean, the whole front end of my truck's in the ditch. And granted, it's four-wheel drive, but there's no getting out. Some guy pulls up, we dig the truck out, I give him $120, say thank you, we head on our way. You're not really feeling like doing anything after that besides going home and licking your wounds. Wasn't going very good, right? Well, we did it. We decided to turn around, we went up to where we were going, we got out of the truck, and even then I'm thinking, oh, this maybe we shouldn't do this. Man, I'm glad I didn't expect things to be perfect and allow the imperfections to stop us from doing those things we did, from going out there and snowshoeing. It was an amazing day, amazing conversation, amazing time, memories we will have for the rest of our lives. Was it perfect? Hell no, it wasn't perfect. We stayed at a place, it wasn't exactly my idea of a honeymoon suite, but could have turned around and said, oh, no, I'm not staying here. Made it more difficult than it already was. Or just make do, right? Because there's no decision you ever make in your life that's going to be perfect. So the best you can do is put your best effort into it, take what comes, take that action, and then turn around and evaluate and say, okay, that isn't quite what I want to do. Let's go ahead and make an adjustment. Adjust. Because we're never going to be great at everything all the time. But we can't let our imperfections step in the way. We can't let our fear of failure step in the way of our ability or our desire to take that action to achieve those goals. So let's talk about it in layman's terms. What does this mean for you? Imperfection, losing weight, working out, paying off your debt. You pick it. Pick it. The recipe is going to be the same no matter how you do it. You pick your goal. You take an action, you devise a plan, a strategy for how you're going to achieve that goal, and then you take action. You do something regularly on a regular basis to accomplish that goal. And then you evaluate it. Then you look at it and say, wow, I wonder how hey, honey, we're working our relationship. I was trying this. How's it working? If she's sitting over there with a black eye, it's probably the wrong choice. You need to realign your thinking, right? That's kind of an exaggeration, but that's my point. You see these people like Gary Vaynerchuk and Tim Ferriss and so many other people, and you look at their success. They're sitting there on their pinnacles up there, and they duly earned it, right? They have ground it out. They have lived with their imperfections, and they continue to move forward. There is a common factor that's associated with all of those people. That they didn't allow the imperfections and their failures in their actions to curtail the decision to take another action, to reevaluate and to take another choice. Doesn't matter what we're talking about. Let's talk about your career. Where are you at in your career? Is there potential that you're not achieving in your career simply because you will not face the risk of failure? I was bad about that. I'm not good at organized sports. I'm martial arts. Fighting is fine for me. I don't play basketball, don't play baseball. You know why I didn't do that? Because I didn't want to suck at it. But decisions come with imperfections. No one makes perfect decisions all the time. And from where you start to where you end up, there are going to be a lot of imperfections. There are going to be a lot of mistakes. A lot of times when you sit back and you go, oh, that was stupid. Here's the deal. Every day that you open your eyes is a blessing. Every day that you open your eyes is one more opportunity for you to capture something, some experience, some skill, some tidbit of knowledge that will add value and energy to your life and will drive you forward. See, if you're waking up in your house and you can tell if you're on the right path with your decisions by the condition of your life, right? If you look at your life and there are things in your life that are in disarray, for example, let's say you have a garage full of crap. If everything isn't in its place, it's pristine, you tend to it on a regular basis, and it has your attention, not because of an obligation, but because of an inspiration, it was probably a wrong choice to begin with. It wasn't a perfect decision. How do you fix that perfect decision? You ask yourself questions about why. You say, that wasn't a good decision. You walk out from the house, it's Saturday, the sun is shining, it's beautiful. It would be a perfect day to go fishing, to play golf, to go disc golfing, a perfect day for anything. And on your agenda is to clean the garage. Can you imagine? So you walk out there, you roll the door up, and there they are. Boxes tumbled, the kids have been in digging through their crap. You got to organize it, so you spend an entire day cleaning up, moving stuff that you actually probably will never look at again, right? Think about it. How many boxes do you have in your life full of crap that you don't need? You didn't need when you bought it. Not a perfect decision, is it? Damn. How do you fix it? Ask yourself how it looks. Ask yourself how you feel about it. And then go ahead and make another imperfect decision that makes it better. Because that's really what it comes down to. You're going to wake up one day, you're going to look back at your life, and you're going to say, damn. And you're going to get an opportunity to reflect on how you feel about what you've done, about what you've accomplished. I don't know. There's no such thing as a perfect decision. But that doesn't mean we need to stop trying. Doesn't mean we shouldn't wake up every day excited, maybe not about the things we're doing, but about the things we plan on doing. Not about the things we have to do to get there, about how it's going to feel once we finally accomplish that goal. Keep it in mind. Think about it. Get excited about something. Wake up every day and realize that this clock is ticking. And if you don't use it to your benefit, it's going to go away. That's the culmination of living your best life. And we all deserve it. So keep that in mind. I really appreciate you showing up. I'm trying to get my rhythm here. Like I said, this podcast is not nearly perfect. I don't think there'll ever be one. I'm just going to continue to do my best anyway. I hope you'll do the same. I hope you wake up with a kind heart. And as always, just remember, today's your day. Make it a good one.